Hi, this is Micornus, Phokane, the leader and the founder of Church Governance Solutions. We are continuing with ingredients of developing credibility as a church leader. We're speaking about ingredients of developing credibility as a church leader, and we continue with this today once more, and I hope that that will help you. And today I want to embark on communication as an ingredient of developing credibility as a church leader. Communication. How you communicate becomes very key. And as a leader, if you don't communicate, you're not going to get things done. But the level of your communication, therefore, it becomes very key on how then, as a leader, to lead the church with a credible attitude or approach. And people will look at you and think that you're credible and know that you're credible when you communicate clearly. It is actually imperative that leaders keep their people in the know and regularly informed about what is taking place in the church. And I think this is very important, and many churches, we see it is not applicable. They don't regularly tell their members of what's happening. In many occasions about the church calendar, what's going to happen, making proper and clear announcements, and sometimes also even just reporting to the people about the financial status of the church, about the dreams and plans of the church, what needs to be done, and the progress as well. So that's what it encompasses what we call communication. Because when you communicate with your people well, they are able to know the status of the church and they are able to participate, knowing very well where the church is and what is taking place in the church. Now, the members of any organization, they feel an inherent need to know what's happening in the organization. It's the same like if you're running a company as a leader. You realize that if you don't inform your people of what's happening, people are having this inherent feeling of wanting to know. And when they are having the inherent feeling of wanting to know, and they fail to know, they get discouraged as well, and they don't see you as credible as a leader. The same in church, and that's very, very important that we emphasize that. Now, informed people are trusting people, because when they are informed, they know. And they can actually defend the leader. They can defend their leaders as well, because they would be knowing exactly what is happening. Now, lack of communication, lack of speaking on the direction actually makes the leaders not to be credible. And people that are in that organization or in that church, they don't trust because they don't know. They're forever being suspicious. Because uninformed members, uninformed followers, they become suspicious that there's something cooking. There must be something wrong about these leaders. And why are they not telling us? And that's the suspicions that come from the people that are not informed. If people suspect that the leaders are trying to keep something away from them, they're trying to hide the things, they will not follow them because they want to trust you. They want to trust that you're transparent enough. They want to believe that you're not hiding anything from them. And I want to emphasize the fact that when you are not hiding things from the people, people become transparent as a result. They want to be part of that church. And you must realize that when you are planning or doing discussions of strategic plannings, it should not only end up around the leadership. It must be something that you are going to tell the people. You're going to inform them. And you're going to update them. They will know what is happening as well. Because strategies are not planned only for the leaders to know. They are not planned only to be kept in a file somewhere where only the leaders know. But the members should know the strategies that have been planned, because then they want to follow every step of the way as well. An important trust principle that pastors and boards should live by is open communication. And I must really say that without open communication, you're going to find it difficult to win over your people, to win over your congregation, to win over your leadership as a senior pastor, whereby if you're not communicating clearly, you're not transparent enough, they don't know what you're thinking, they forever become very suspicious as well. And they're forever not trusting at all because they think that there's something that is being hidden. As unconventional as it may seem, the church must communicate openly with the congregation, except in personal matters of confidentiality, of course. But there are not many of those. Remember that there may be some confidential matters as well of other people. We're not going to share them on the stage for the sake of communicating. But remember that it's not everything that is confidential in the church, so therefore don't make things confidential so that there is Never a time when the congregation is wondering or even confused about the church business without knowing what's happening, without knowing what is next, because they are not being updated. Very, very important. And that is why announcements are very important. And as Church Governance Solutions, we promote that you don't rely only on the announcements in church. You must have maybe newsletters where you inform the people. You must have WhatsApp programs where WhatsApp communication platforms as well, where you communicate with your teams and your people. You must have also, sometimes you could actually have also ways of communication, like in Teams meetings, in Zoom meetings as well, where you inform your people and people join and you make pertinent announcements in the church and direction as well. And where you do the state of the church address, for instance, whereby you are going to have consistent communications with your people, whereby you can actually invite them on Zoom or on Teams and people join and you make crucial announcements there on that particular platform. There are many ways of communicating, but it's very important that we choose communication platforms that will be suitable for our communities that we're leading, that will be suitable for the level of our congregants as well, because that's very important. But we cannot ignore informing them and say, but because they're not going to understand. Remember that we need to break it down to very understandable way or understandable platform where people would know then what then to do, because you would have actually explained it and people are not wondering. Now, complete and open communication in churches, however, tends to be the exception rather than the norm. And it's amazing why churches are not communicating. It's amazing why church leaders don't believe in communicating. It's not a norm in many churches. It becomes really something that's very rare. And as I said, in my travels of ministering in different churches and teaching in different churches, I've realized that communication therefore becomes very, very key. And majority of the churches lack communication, hence their members are not participating as expected. So it's very important that we put communication structures and we make communication as a norm. Not much work has been done on organizational communication in many, many churches from a Christian perspective within the local church. And you realize if you scrutinize local churches, emphasis is not made about communication. There are flaws. There are actually loopholes, a lot of them, that are showing lack of communication in churches. And as I said, we end up blaming the local church congregants that they are not participating, that they are not committed, that they are not part of the church, that they are not participating in projects in the church. Purely, generally, it's because of lack of communication. When communication is clarified, people start to participate because they know what to do as well. I'm still waiting for someone to write a book or his or her doctoral dissertation actually on organizational communication in a church. And I'm still waiting for that. And maybe something that I should take people as challenge pastors, challenge leaders, challenge researchers in the kingdom of God to make sure that we write either a dissertation or a book that will challenge what we call organizational communication in the church. Maybe that's a challenge that we need to take up because it's very key and we don't see it that often in the church. It lacks. And this particular topic is a topic of pertinence that brings a lot of credibility in the church when there is announcements or clarity of communication in the church. I know a few leaders and congregants who believe their church is doing a good job of communication with its people, but I must really say that we can always do better. And even the churches that think they communicate well, there's always a door of doing better in this regard. Now, most organizations or churches, they can accomplish reasonably good communication with little effort as well. You need to focus on it. You can use various means, such as newsletters, as I've said a bit earlier. Announcements could be the way to go, but before that, remember that announcements can only be in church and it's actually affecting people that are there. But look at platforms that you can announce even for those that couldn't make it to church. So therefore, various methods are very, very important, and it's going to be very key as well that we look into that as church. Verbal announcements from the pulpit, but announcements projected on a screen as well. a town hall type of meetings, as I've said, a website, very, very important. Why not? And emails, you could actually do some emails communication to church members and other means of communication. Very, very key. But I want to emphasize that a church that communicates, they do better. And they become, the leaders become very credible. And therefore, they do much better. And they continue doing better. I must emphasize that. Now, people are very inquisitive. They want to know what's happening. People are very inquisitive. They want to do what they are told to do. But if there are no communication, and then you find that people don't even know what to do. The ideal is to communicate to them and to do every means of making sure that the network of communication is clear at all given times. When this happens, your credibility as a leader should be incredibly high. And I must really say that we have seen that happening in leaders that are communicating very well, that we have seen that they are credible and they are respected and they are looked up to by their own congregants, because the congregation is looking for their leaders that communicates clearly. I want to end up here today. Your host, Micornus Phokane. I hope that you've learned a bit out of this. And I hope that you'll take it up and continue with listening to us as we take the very same topic further tomorrow in part 5. And I hope that will help you as we do that. And I believe strongly as well that you're going to follow us on our Facebook page, Micornus Phokane, Facebook page, Church Governance Solutions. Please like those pages and follow them. And make sure that you click notification buttons on them as well. And you will be taught a bit out of that. And also remember, we've got a YouTube channel. Please Google us and YouTube channel, Young Men Empowerment Forum, and our YouTube channel, Micornus Phokane. So there are a lot of materials that we've posted there. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on it at all times. And you will learn quite a bit for your church. And may the good Lord bless you. And allow us to check out right here and say cheers for now.